Well, hello and welcome to the Cranky Card Reader, a very special edition of sports predictions. I nailed the Super Bowl prediction, so if you haven't seen that video, please go back and watch it. Absolutely nailed it. So I'm going to try it with the Stanley Cup playoffs. Full disclosure here, I am a hockey nut and my favorite team is in the playoffs. I actually have two favorite teams that are also in the playoffs, and I'm going to do my best not to have any bias towards those teams, but it's really hard. Today I'm going to be using, as I do for all my predictions, the Tarot, the Black and Gold edition. They're very, very accurate for me when I use them for any kind of predictions, sports, stocks, anything to do with business, that kind of thing. Before we get started, I have to give you my disclaimer. This is for entertainment purposes only. I am not responsible what you do with this information. All I'm trying to do here is add a little bit of fun to the playoffs, add another dimension to them, and just have fun with it. I am in no way or means encouraging anybody to gamble. All right, so with that out of the way, I do have my full disclaimer down below. Let's get started. So the first series, I'm going to be doing all the first round series. I'm just going to go around the board here. So the first one we are going to do is Avalanche and Nashville. So Colorado Avalanche and Nashville Predators. So I'm going to put just as they are on here. Colorado on the top, Predators on the bottom, and let's get started. So who's going to win the first round series between the Colorado Avalanche and the Nashville Predators? Who's going to win? I'm putting Colorado on the top, Nashville on the bottom. Who's going to win this series? I'm going to be pulling 7 cards, so basically one for each potential game. But that's normally what I do anyways. So 7 cards, Colorado Avalanche on the top, Nashville Predators on the bottom. Who's going to win this series? Who's going to win this NHL playoff series? Sorry for the shuffling, but I like that for you to see this isn't contrived. You see the cards the same exact second I do. So who's going to win the series? Colorado Avalanche, Nashville Predators. Let's go. 7 cards. Colorado on top. Ooh, King of Cups. And that's true. Colorado did smash the year, didn't they? Ace of Cups. Ooh, that's, yes. So we've got the beginning of the cups, the end of the cups. We might have a good series here. The Fool. They might be thinking that Nashville's going to be a piece of cake. Oh, the Hierophant. They have coaching problems. Nashville has coaching problems right now. Their coach might end up falling here. Oh, Patience. Ooh, Page of Swords. They're going to be really feisty. Nashville's going to be really, really feisty. They're going to be a bit of bad news for Colorado. I think they're going to give Colorado a real run for their money. Let's move those over because I got to fit them all in. The Chariot movement, moving on. The Queen of Pentacles. They're going to be really kind of bitchy about it. They aren't going to do well at home at all. Nashville. King of Wands. They're going to be bullies. They're going to beat the hell out of Nashville physically. And yeah, Nashville, this is a 7 of Wands. They're constantly defending themselves. I think Colorado's going to be really, really strong for them. Colorado's coming in with much more history, much more, that's the ancestor card. So past experience, let's say. Ooh, Queen of Swords. Now, we don't have a lot of determining factors here. One team is really going to feel like victims, like the refs weren't fair to them. How am I going to fit all this in? Let's see. This is tough. This is actually going to be... Oh, before I get started, is there a bad glare? Because I've got that new light up there. You know what? This is going to be a tougher series than you think. I think both teams are going to get beat up a lot. I think there's going to be a lot of penalties. I think Nashville is going to feel like the refs are on Colorado's side. I think Colorado in the end is going to move on. Number one, they have two major arcanas, and the only major arcana that Nashville has is reversed, and that's to do with the coaching. I think the coaching is going to be a big issue here. I think we'll see some firings at the end of this series. I'm going to call it Colorado. It's going to be a battle. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's going to be a very physical battle, but in the end, Colorado is going to win. You can almost see in this card handing the award on, and they're not going to get out of it unscathed. I'm going to tell you that right now. I think Nashville is going to be playing victim here, and they're going to say, "Oh, we lost it on reffing," which is absolutely not the case. They just were simply outbeaten in strength. If Colorado's patient, they have to be patient and they'll win this one. How many games are they going to win? I want to say 4 because that's when they move on after. I don't think it's going to be a sweep though. It could be a sweep. Tough win, but they do have the moving on. And look for firings after firings, or they're going to complain to the league a lot. There's going to be something legal happening after they lose. All right, so there we go. Colorado. I'm calling for the first one. Possible sweep. Possible sweep. Okay. Let's move on to the next one, which is the Minnesota Wild against the St. Louis Blues. Minnesota Wild against the St. Louis Blues. Minnesota Wild. I want to knock out that previous reading. Minnesota Wild against the St. Louis Blues. Who's going to win that series in the NHL playoffs? Minnesota Wild versus St. Louis Blues. Who's going to win that series? Who's going to win that series? Minnesota Wild, St. Louis Blues. Minnesota Wild, St. Louis Blues. Minnesota Wild, St. Louis Blues. Who's going to win that series? Minnesota Wild, St. Louis Blues. Who's going to win that series? Minnesota Wild, St. Louis Blues. Minnesota Wild, St. Louis Blues. Who's going to win that series in the NHL playoffs, please? Okay. Ooh. Minnesota Wild sure is their work cut out for them. I almost feel like when this card shows up that they aren't working together as a team. Ooh, St. Louis Blues, the Stars. They're healthy. I'm going to say right now they're coming into these playoffs much more healthy, full of hope. Lucky Stars on their side. Lucky Stars on their side. Ooh, the Hanged Man reversed. So I think they're going to get over these injuries and be able to carry on. If this was like this, I'm going to say they aren't going anywhere, but I think they're going to be able to work out what's going on and move on. Oh yeah, St. Louis is really going to feel the stress and the pressure, and they're going to feel embattled. I think game 2, we definitely see the Minnesota Wild winning that one. I can see game 1, St. Louis, Minnesota gets their shit together and wins game 2. Absolutely. Okay, so we have the hand of God is actually, the universe is smiling on the Minnesota Wild right now. They kind of got the luck. Oh yeah, Minnesota Wild definitely has a little bit more luck. They start off really rough, but they really turn it around, and it almost feels like luck is on their side. And St. Louis Blues can't get it together. They won that first one. It's almost like it gave them too much hope, and now they can't get it together. They're really balancing. Interesting, they both got pentacles in game 3, but the bigger pentacle goes to the Wild. So I'm going to call the Wild to win that one as well. Yeah, I think the Wild is going to move on. And the Hermit, yeah. The St. Louis Blues are going to be like, what the hell happened? We started out so well. Like when you get a major arcana reverse like that, ooh, the Sun. Now that's not good when it's upside down like that. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, so I think St. Louis comes roaring back. St. Louis, I think what happens here is that Minnesota Wild become way too confident, and the light that is shining on them is dimmed, and St. Louis really gets it together. The team starts to play together as a team. Okay, and that wakes up the Wild. It wakes them up because this is the sleeping card, and this wakes them up. This wakes them up. I think this is going to be, St. Louis they can't pull it together. They just seriously can't pull it together. So they have a couple of bright games, that's working as teamwork as well. Ooh. Knight in shining armor underlying. This is going to be a very fast acting. This is going to be a very tough, fast series. This is going to be a great series, actually. It's really going to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Who's going to win here in the end? This is a tough one to call. This is really, really close. So we have game 1. St. Louis, game 2, we have the Wild, game 3, the Wild, game 4, the Wild, so they're up 3-1. Oops, 3-1, the worst lead in the NHL. I think St. Louis is going to win that game. Now we're 3-2. If we do see a Wild win, it will be in game 6. They'll take it because the Magician reversed. We have a major arcana reversed. This is not being able to create what you want to create. This is also lots of cheating. I don't think we're going to go to a 7th game here. If we do, I don't think we will, because they don't have to work, right? They don't have to work here. They don't have to create anything. And then these move on like, okay, I'm out of here. I'm off to play golf. So I'm going to call this the Wild in 6. But this is going to be a really good series. This is going to be back and forth, back and forth. Wild will think they almost have it, and St. Louis comes roaring back and it wakes the Wild up, and St. Louis just can't get it together. So that's in 6. And now they get to rest, right? Instead of working on more strategy, they can just kind of rest, and St. Louis goes on to play golf. All right, so that's that series. Now let's move on to the Calgary Flames against the Dallas Stars. Calgary Flames against the Dallas Stars. All right, Let's see who's going to win this series. Calgary Flames against Dallas Stars. Who's going to win this NHL playoff series? Calgary Flames against the Dallas Stars. Who's going to win against this series? Calgary Flames against the Dallas Stars. Who's going to win this series? Oh, cards are really ready. Calgary Flames against the Dallas Stars. Who is going to win this series? Calgary Flames against the Dallas Stars. Who is going to win this NHL playoff series? Calgary Flames against the Dallas Stars. Who's going to win this series? Calgary Flames against, who's going to win this NHL series? Okay, cards are ready. Okay, Calgary Flames on top. Knight of Pentacles. Slow and steady. This is Steady Eddie. Oh, and the clock agrees with me. This is Steady Eddie. You know what to expect from the Flames, and they're gonna bring it. Oh yeah, the Dallas Stars have a heavy burden right now, and they're kind of coming into it just letting go of that burden. I don't know what the burden is, but they're like, you know what? Yeah, we've got to get in here and play the number one team in our division, but let's do it. Let's let go of any burdens. They're coming in. You know what? We made it. Let's just play. Ooh, the Flames have a bit of a loss of a fortune there. Might be a loss of a player due to injury. Boy, they both have reversals in game 2. I'm going to call the Flames in game 1 just because they're slow and steady, and they're going to play the Calgary Flames game. Game 2, they both have a loss of reversals here. Dallas is kind of losing the big overall picture here. They definitely aren't playing their game. But we do have a reversal of fortune here, and we have the Hanged Man. But we have, this way is victory, but it's been returned. So I think this game 3 is going to be a very boring game. And they're just going to be, it's going to be like maybe like a 1-0, 2-0 game. The Flames will win because they have the major arcana, even though both are reversed. So we got game 1. That game, I think there's going to be some kind of reversal of fortune or some kind of loss for the Flames, like a main player, a star player. I think there's going to be an injury or something's going to happen, and it's really going to slow down their game. Oh, we got a celebration here in the 4th game, and the Dallas Stars are moving on. You know, I might be calling a sweep here because we have the celebration and then the Dallas Stars moving on. The Magician reversed and the World reversed. Yeah, they don't get to finish. Dallas doesn't get to finish. The Flames don't need to create anything anymore. Interesting, this is the first major arcana. This is the last major arcana. So we have a completion here, even though they're both reversed. Let's see what's going on. I think the Flames are going to somewhat feel like victims. I think because of this loss here, it's going to really, really sting them. I think they're going to, they're going to feel it. They're going to feel like victims, and they aren't moving anywhere. I'm going to call it in 4. You know what? I'm going to call it in 4, but you know what? The Flames are limping on. The Flames are definitely going to be limping on. Because they've got like 3 reverse here. They're just moving on. There's just, nothing moves, nothing goes on, bad ending. Yeah, the Stars this is going to be really embattled. This is going to take the wind out of the sails of the Flames, because they're going to lose something here in the second game. They might win the game, but at a great loss. The second game is going to be, or the third game is going to be pretty boring. They're going to win it. Low scoring game. And then in the fourth game, they celebrate and Dallas moves on. But there will be a steep price to pay for winning this series. All right. Okay. Good. So let's go on to the final series in the West. And I have to be really careful I don't put my biases into this. And this is the Oilers and the LA Kings. And here's a fun fact. I was actually at the Game 7 when the LA Kings won the Stanley Cup in 2014. That was so much fun. So much fun. If you've never been to a Game 7 Stanley Cup, you have to at least once in your life. We had an absolute ball. I told you I was a hockey fan. And I'm not even an LA Kings fan. But it was fun anyways. Just go. If you have the opportunity to go, just go. It's electric. It's something you'll never forget. So anyways, Oilers, LA Kings, Stanley Cup playoff round 1, Oilers and LA Kings. Who's going to win this series? Oilers on top, Kings on the bottom. Who's going to win this series? LA Oilers, NHL playoffs round 1. Who's going to win? Oilers, Kings. Oilers, Kings, round 1. Who's going to win this playoff series? Oilers, Kings, round 1. Who's going to win this playoff series? Okay, Oilers on top. Ace of Swords, that's a good, they're coming for battle. They're coming for battle. They're also mentally strong. Oh, yeah, the Kings are not quite ready. They're really unsure. Why would the Kings be unsure? They made it. I think maybe they know the Oilers are ready for battle here. Oh, yeah, they're coming in. Knight of Swords, they're coming in for the fight. They're here to fight. Look at the action in that card. So anyways, game 1, I call the Oilers to win that one. Oh, yeah, they aren't going anywhere. Game 2, Oilers are going to win. Oh, now they're disappointed. There's something going on here. Something's going on. Let's see what's going on. Okay, so this game 3 is going to be a real battle. LA's all of a sudden woken up and going, holy crap, we're actually in the playoffs here. This is a 5, this is a 6, reversed. I'm going to say the Oilers will win it. This might even be a 3-2 game. It's going to be really close, though. It's going to be really close. Oh, and now we've got reverse 2 of Swords. We see how we have these swords here, and then we have some disappointment. This game here really shakes them up mentally. They maybe thought this was going to be a cakewalk, and King of Wands. This is weird how all of a sudden the reversals come in here. Now, the King of Wands can be a bully. And the 2 of Swords can be someone stubborn, not wanting to see what's real. That's a tough one to call. Oh, the Magician. Oilers pull it out. Pull it out here in game 5. Yeah, the Kings can't get it together. Game 6. Ooh, Knight of Cups versus Ace of Pentacles. This series is going to be closer than people realize. Oh, Ace of Cups, lots of tears. Ace of Cups reverse, lots of tears. Wheel of Fortune. Judgment. Second chances. I think this is going to go to 7 games, and I'm calling the Kings to win. Just because it ends in lots of tears and Wheel of Fortune for the Kings. I think the Kings are going to be, I think, second chances. Well, who gets the second chance? The underdog. The judgment, the wake-up call, the blessing. This is really, really close. This game, I'm going to tell you, this series is going to 7 games. It's going to be closer. The Oilers are going to come out gangbusters, and then they aren't. Then they're going to come out. They're going to pull it back together, and it's mental game for the Oilers. Complete mental game. And then with the Ace of Cups, to me, when the Ace of Cups is reversed, that means you are upset. That's emotional, crying. And the Wheel of Fortune, the fortune is favoring the LA Kings. I think this will be a big upset. This will be the most upsetting series in the West. I'm calling it right now. It's an upset. And a lot of Oiler fans are going to tell me I'm, after game 2, they're going to say, how can this be an upset? And it's going to be an upset. I think they're in for a real battle. I think LA might have a few tricks up their sleeves and become bullies and play a rougher game. And they certainly aren't in it to make friends. Let's put it that way. This game 5, for sure, the Oilers are going to win. And then I think I'm calling it game 7. Game 7, Kings are going to pull off a miracle and upset the Oilers and get a second chance. Wow, that will be the most upsetting. All right, so that's the West. I'm going to take a bit of a break and upload now the East. All right, so I've done the West, and if you just too long didn't read and wanted to skip ahead, the first session I've predicted Avalanche will win, the Minnesota Wild will win, the Calgary Flames will win, and the LA Kings will win. So now I'm going to go with the East, and we have the Florida Panthers against the Washington Capitals, Toronto Maple Leafs against the Tampa Bay Lightning, Carolina Hurricanes against the Boston Bruins, and the New York Rangers against the Pittsburgh Penguins. So let's get started, and I'm going to continue to use my black and gold tarot. And just as with the West, I'm going to lay the teams just as they are here. So the first, we're going to do the Panthers on top, Washington Capitals on the bottom. I'm going to pull 7 cards, one for each game. Well, let's see what goes on. I know even some series don't have 7 games. That's just my normal go-to is 7 games, so I can get a real picture of what's going on. Okay, Florida Panthers against Washington Capitals. 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 First round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Who's going to win? Florida Panthers, Washington Capitals. Florida on top, Capitals on the bottom. Who's going to win? Okay, here we go. Ooh, Temperance. Temper. When Temperance is like, right, so this is Temperance reversed. Temper. I don't know what's going on. Oh, Injustice. Okay, game 1 is going to be a battle royale. I think Washington is going to be poking the Panthers, and they're going to make them lose their temper and get some terrible penalties. And there's going to be tons of penalties in that game. Let's see what game 2, Washington pulls it together. Yeah, game 2 is definitely, I'm calling, not Washington, Panthers. Panthers pulls it together. Capitals are, I don't want to say stunned, but I guess they are. They're stubborn. They really took a beating. I think they lose game 1, and I think they tried to make Florida play their game, and they lost. Then Florida comes back and says, we're going to play our game. We're not going to be playing your game. And Washington completely shuts down. Yeah, game 3, definitely Florida wins that one. That's the victory card. Yeah. Again, whatever idea that Washington is coming in with, that they think they're going to beat Florida, it's not working. Absolutely not working. They'd fall apart in game 3 for sure. Game 4, oh, some tears here in game 4. Very emotional. Oh, and game 4 is really emotional. What's with emotion in a hockey game? I think Washington realizes that they totally read Florida wrong, which can happen. The Hanged Man. I don't know if this is going to go past 4 games. Let's see here. The Emperor. I don't know. Well, definitely Florida's going to win this one. I'm just trying to look here what's going on. When I'm just trying to call it. This is going to be kind of a boring series. This is going to be a boring series. But Florida might be happy after 4 games to be like, oh, that was kind of emotional. You know, might be an emotional win for them, and then they get to rest. I wouldn't, yeah, I think they get to rest and have, I don't want to say drugs, but I think they get to rest. Something's happening to Ovechkin. He's the emperor. He's the, I think something's happening to Ovechkin. Interesting, they both end with 6 here, so I'm wondering if it's telling me 6 games. I would call this in 4, just because Washington's so upset. They just have zero strategy. But Florida gets to move on, but it's some kind of an illusion here, or something is going on. I think something's going on with Ovechkin. Washington definitely is going to lose this one. Absolutely. It might be in 6 games here. Might be in 6 games because it both ends in a 6. Might be in 6 games. But I'm thinking 4, just because they have the victory. Washington just really can't get it together. It's almost like 70% of the team doesn't even show up, because we have 2 7s here flanking that. And this is going to be a very, very boring series. There's not going to be it's going to be very predictable, and the Panthers move on. I think there's something secret going on behind the closed doors here with the Capitals. And I think we're going to see something happening with Ovechkin here. I don't see him moving on with the team next year. All right, so definitely Panthers win this one, absolutely, without a doubt. I'm calling it in 4, but definitely 6. It won't go to game 7, definitely not. And at the end of this series, we'll see something happening with Ovechkin. I don't think he's moving on with the team. All right. So there we go. This is a very boring predictive series. And Washington almost feels like they aren't going to show up. So let's knock that series out. So now we're on to Toronto Maple Leafs against the Tampa Bay Bolts. I have to be careful how I say that. So Toronto on top, Tampa Bay on the bottom. Who's going to win the first round series? Toronto Maple Leafs against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Because they have bolts on their jerseys as well. So sometimes their bolts is their nickname. Tampa Bay Lightning against Toronto Maple Leafs. Round 1, who's going to win? Toronto on top, Lightning on the bottom. Toronto on top, Lightning on the bottom. Who's going to win? Toronto on top, Lightning on the bottom. Toronto on top, Lightning on the bottom. Who's going to win this NHL first round series? Toronto or Tampa Bay? Okay, cards are ready. Oh, the Empress. That's the Queen. That's pregnant with possibilities right off the top for Toronto. Disappointment for Tampa Bay. Definitely Toronto's going to win game 1 without a doubt. Game 2, the Star. They don't come into game 2 very healthy. Ooh, Tampa Bay is going to come. Here comes the bitch. The bitch is going to take that one. Tampa Bay is like going, ta-da, I told you. When you have a reversal, told you we're here to play. So Tampa Bay doesn't show up for game 1, but man, they show up for game 2. They show that they're serious about this. They get their shit together. They get their mental game together. Then we have Toronto, Hand of God again. Battle of the Aces. Game 3 is going to be epic. This is 2 well-placed teams in this series. So now they've split the first 2. This is going to be epic. Let's see who. Toronto's battling their legacy. Okay. Tampa Bay definitely wins game 4. They're feeling pretty smug. They're feeling like the cards have turned. Here we have Ace of Cups and all these cups behind, where we have Pentacles and then the Pentacles reversed. Interest. Like, you saw me shuffle them. I can't make this shit up. I think game 3 is going to be very, very tight, might even go to overtime, based on the cards that follow it and the cards that are previous to it. I'm going to call Tampa Bay for game 3. I'm calling Tampa Bay for game 4. Okay, Toronto, there's the movement card. They both have movement cards, but this is an 8 and this is a 6. This is moving on, and this is movement as well. Another fiery game we've got going here. This is going to be a very, very fast-acting game. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, Ace of Wands. That's a no. That's losing your mojo. That's running out of energy. And this is moving on. We got 2 moving on cards here. I got to pull this 7 and see what we got. Ooh, Queen of Wands. Oh, against the Tower. This is not going to be a fair series at all. This is not going to be fair. I think this is also going to be a series that goes to game 7. I think Toronto's going to play a very clean game. but Tampa Bay is not. When the tower is reversed, when the tower is like this, it's like sudden death. So I'm calling a sudden death game here, which is overtime. When it's like this, people fall. When it's like this, you're jumping for joy. So whatever suddenly comes in, you're jumping for joy. But this Queen of Wands, this is playing with integrity, doing your best. But they've run out of energy in game 6. Okay, so we have Toronto, Tampa Bay, Tampa Bay, Tampa Bay. I'm going to call this Toronto because this is an 8 and this is a 6. It's a little bit fast moving and this is slower moving. This is actually action and passion and this isn't. So we've got a 3-1, 3-2. I think this is going to be in 6. This is going to be in 6, and I think Tampa Bay is going to take it. Tampa Bay moves on. Because we got the Ace of Cups and moving on, running out of passion. Here they have a lot of, they gave it all in that game and they win it, only to lose it in game 6. And they're going to feel really good about this series. But Tampa Bay is going to feel like, wow, we pulled that one off. We pulled that one off. They'll be jumping for joy. So I'm going to call this one Tampa Bay in 6. Tampa Bay in 6. Even though Toronto's going to play a very clean game, they're just simply running out of energy for some reason. And, of course, they're jumping for joy. So they get to move on. It's not going to be a very fair game. I think we might have some referee interference in some of these games that the Maple Leafs might go and they might complain to the league about that. They might say, hey, and I think they might win that, but be too late. So example, fines or something, but that doesn't overturn a game or whatnot. All right, so there we go. There's another upset. So there's our second upset of first series. So I'm calling it Tampa Bay is going to win that in 6. So now we're going on to our next series, Carolina Hurricanes against the Boston Bruins. Round 1, Series 1, Stanley Cup playoffs. The Carolina Hurricanes against the Boston Bruins. Carolina Hurricanes against the Boston Bruins. Carolina Hurricanes against the Boston Bruins. Who's going to win this one? Who's going to walk away with this series? Who's going to move on to the next round? Carolina Hurricanes, Boston Bruins. Carolina Hurricanes are on top. Boston Bruins are on the bottom. Who's going to win this NHL playoff? Boston Bruins or Carolina Hurricanes? Carolina Hurricanes on top, Boston Bruins on the bottom. Who's going to win this NHL first round series? Carolina Hurricanes, Boston Bruins. Okay, cards are ready. Ooh. So Carolina comes out, they're pretty stubborn. It's almost like, where are we again? Okay, so Boston has the burden here. I don't know if Boston is coming in with a lot of injuries or they have to prove something, but they're coming in with the burden here. And, you know, they're pushing forward. I think Carolina almost seems disinterested. They don't really want to look at reality. Oh, the clock agrees with me on this one. I think Boston's going to win this one. All of a sudden, Carolina's going to be like, whoops, geez, I guess we're in the playoffs. Oh, Boston's going to win the second one too. They're taming their ego. They've got the strength. They've got the force. And Carolina's going to go, uh-oh. Did we underestimate these? Because they're waiting. They're waiting. They haven't accomplished anything. They're waiting. So we've got 2 games, Boston here. Oh, they're going to feel like victims. They're going to feel like victims in game 3. Oh, and then we've got the major arcana here, but this is howling at the moon. Boston definitely is going to be up 3 games to nothing here by now. But what's the illusion? What's the illusion? I think the illusion is that Carolina, that Boston is mentally destroying them. They've taken away their mojo. Boston has all the strength here. Boston has tamed them. And now they started off with poor mental attitude, and now they really feel like victims. So they come back, they go, what the hell, we're a good team. And they come back and they win game 4. They're like, okay, where's our, we're a better team than this. We see the illusion that they aren't as good as us. Their mental game is stronger than ours right now. Let's do it. And now we've got the reversed for Boston. So I think in game 4, Carolina, this is not going to be a sweep. Carolina's coming back. Game 5 is going to be a battle. And Boston's going to be a little bit dirty in game 5. They're going to switch up their strategy a little bit. Interesting. These are both 7s. This is going to be a battle royale. Carolina is defending their right to continue on, aren't they? Because now they're still behind the 8 ball. Let's see who wins the next game. They're putting more better strategy in place. Oh yeah, Boston definitely wins the 6th game, and then Carolina with a 10 of cups. They both end up with 10s. Somehow Carolina pulls it through. How can they do that? They need to win 4 games. 1, 2, so they win that one. 3, 4. Carolina, this last game is a battle. They both have 10s. One is happy, one is the end. One ends their season at game 7. One continues on. One is happy with results. One isn't. Is their strategy? Boston's playing on emotion, and Carolina's playing with strategy. The underlying, we all know that with Boston. Lots of chirping going on here. Lots and lots of chirping. This is a mental game. Boston gets beat mentally. They become too emotional in the last game, and they get beat mentally. That's a definite win. When you have 2 cards like that, the same, and one is happy and one is the end. This is the end. This is also my death card. So I think this is going to be. It's not really an upset because Carolina is the team that ended up higher than Boston. Boston is a wild card team. So when Boston wins these first 3 games, it's going to feel like an upset. And then Carolina comes roaring back and wins the last 4. And Boston plays an emotional game. And they completely mentally fall apart in the last game. And Carolina wins. Lots of chirping, lots of mean words, lots of cutting words. Could be from the media, could be from fans, could be for the players, for each other. I'm trying to see what's going on here. Yeah, Carolina is like, this is a wild card team, and we ended up first, so, and then they go, oh my God, we got to get a plan together, and they might feel like the refs called that game as well. Game 3, they might feel like the refs called it. All right. All right. So there we go. Well, that's sad for me because Boston is one of my teams. But they're out of it after the first round. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. All right. So let's go on to the final series of our final series of the round, Rangers against the Penguins. So Rangers against the Penguins. So we're going to put the Rangers on top and the Penguins on the bottom. Who's going to win this round and move on to the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs? Who's going to win this round? Who's going to win this series? Rangers or Pittsburgh Penguins? New York 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 Rangers or Pittsburgh Penguins? Who's going to win this round? Who's going to win this first round of the NHL playoffs? New York Rangers, Pittsburgh Penguins, New York on top. Cards are ready. Okay, let's go. Oh, so the Rangers have some kind of burden they're letting go of. So I don't know if that means they had a lot of injuries that are coming back healthy. Page of Swords. Bad news for the Penguins because I think the Rangers come back. They've let go of their burdens. They're coming back healthy, and so it's bad news for the Penguins. So I'm calling Rangers take game 1. Oh, we got some illusions here. Got some, this is some choices here that the Rangers have to make. But they definitely win game 2. Their card is upright. This is embattled, stress from being so embattled. But when it's reversed, is like you just aren't winning. You just aren't winning. It just feels like an uphill battle. So I think the Rangers are kind of dazzling them. They're kind of dazzling them. And the Penguins don't know which game to play. Ooh. Remember with the last one we had that the Carolina Hurricanes got this as the last card. So this is unfulfilled happiness. So I think Pittsburgh is running into here with coaching problems, and for some reason the Rangers aren't happy with things either. Victory, game 4, victory. Oh, against a star though. So Pittsburgh, whatever is happening here, they fix it. They have high hopes. But this is interesting because the victory card is over a major arcana. This is a really tough series to call. The Queen of Swords versus the Reverse Magician. You know what? Pittsburgh's their own worst enemy. They've got everything. They've got the star power. They just can't get it together. We've got reversed, 2 major arcanas reversed between a major arcana upright. And this one here, and rightfully so, Rangers win this game. Pittsburgh is pulling something here. Pittsburgh, Rangers don't get a second chance. Oh, this is going to be a tight series. This is back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Pittsburgh is relying on its legacy players, they're really relying on their mature players to pull this out. Oh, no. Rangers aren't going to win this. They aren't. Rangers aren't going to win this. Pittsburgh is going to win this. How do I say this? Underhandedly. But this is a definite no. This is no second chances. This is, I think they're going to be complaining about the reffing or something. They should have won game 4, but something happens and they don't. So a bad goal, maybe a penalty. They should be winning game 4, but they don't. And then they're gonna bitterly complain about it. Rangers are not moving on. No, I'm calling this right now. Pittsburgh's going to win. It's going to be an emotional win, but it's going to be a happy, sad kind of win. They know they didn't win it fairly, but they'll take it. So Pittsburgh is going to win. They know they didn't win it fairly. They're counting on their legacy. Something happens that throws the Rangers off. And I think the Rangers are going to bitterly complain about it. So if I have to go back, I'd say Rangers win the first one. Rangers win the second one. Something with the third one's really tough to call. I think I'm going to call Pittsburgh on that one just because it's a major arcana. I'm going to call Pittsburgh on this one because it's a major arcana, but the Rangers should have won this one. They should have won this one. So what do we have here? 1, 2. So it's all going to be tied up. I think, that game 5 is going to be tough. Pittsburgh definitely wins game 6. They pull out all their legacy and they will win game 7. So this is going to go to game 7, but there's going to be the turning point here in game 5 that there's something that is sneakily done and Pittsburgh's going to be like, the fuck, man. And it's going to turn their whole game. It's going to mentally turn them around, and they're gonna lose their mojo because of that. They don't get a second chance, and they just simply run out of steam. And Pittsburgh pulls it out in the end, but they know they didn't win it properly. All right. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed this. Of course, I'm going to do a follow-up at the end of round 1. We'll go and review everything, and I'll do my predictions for round 2. All right. Everybody take good care. And if you are going to gamble safely. I'm not responsible for anything you do because of this video. Bye for now.